Welcome back. Scrub Season 10 Episode 8 delivers something fans probably didn't expect, an emotional gut punch, all thanks to Dr. Kosk's return. What starts as a nostalgic comeback quickly turns into something much heavier as the episode reveals that Cox is seriously ill. And just like that, the tone shifts. JD, who has spent most of his life chasing Cox's approval, is suddenly faced with the possibility of losing him. And that hits harder than anything else in the episode. This isn't just a mentor anymore, it's about someone who shaped JD's entire career, possibly slipping away. When Cox asks JD to keep him alive, it's one of those moments that remind you why Scrubs has always been more than just a comedy. Because beneath all the jokes and absurd humor, Scrubs has always leaned into the reality of medicine. It never shield away from showing the difficult parts, patients dying, doctor making mistakes, and the emotional toll that comes with it. And this episode leans fully into that strength. It balances its serious storytelling with just enough humor, but make no mistake, this is one of the most dramatic entries of the season. At the same time, the episode doesn't completely forget its root. Cox and JD still have that classic dynamic, even if it's evolved. There is humor in their interaction, especially when Cox points out that JD has been annoying him for 25 years. A line that lands because it's both funny and painfully true. But the dynamic has clearly changed. JD isn't a clueless intern anymore, he is the chief of medicine. And yet, a part of him is still the same guy looking for validation. That's why Truck calling him out is such an important moment. It grounds the episode and reminds JD and the audience that he should have moved past this by now. It's not played for laughs either, it's an honest, it adds to the emotional weight of everything going on. Unfortunately, not everything in the episode works as well. Dr. Park continues to be one of the weaker elements where Cox has always been harsh but ultimately driven by a desire to make better doctors. Park just comes off as arrogant without purpose. His attempts to mimic Cox's tough love approach fell flat because there is no heart behind it. It becomes especially obvious when he clashes with Blake. Instead of feeling like a teaching moment, it just feels frustrating, and that contrast only makes Cox's character stand out more. Even at its worst, you always understood why he pushed people the way he did. With Park, that depth just isn't there. Still, the emotional core of the episode carries everything forward. The idea of Cox dealing with a serious illness opens the door for so many possibilities, both dramatic and even comedic in that uniquely Scrubs way. You can already imagine JD trying to help in the most over the top way possible, while Cox refuses to accept it. But beyond the future, it's this episode itself that stands out. The scene where Cox asks JD to keep him alive is powerful, simple, and deeply human. It's the kind of moment that sticks with you. There are few side plots that would hit as well. Elliot and Tosh conflict feels a bit repetitive, and some of the lighter comedy, like Turk and Asher's running gags, doesn't quite land. But there are minor issues in an otherwise strong episode. Because at its core, this episode reminds us of what Scrubs does best, blending humor with real emotional storytelling. It's not just about making you laugh, it's about making you feel something, and this time it definitely does. Thank you for watching. Bye.